goodness. Do you recognize all this? Do you recognize this? We're back. Hello, Doodlebugs. It's Friday. It's the Friday Doodle Diary. It's Mary. It's I'm not sick, and it's not beer. It's not beer, I assure you. This is a homemade lavender kombucha, watered down with some sparkling water because I left it too long and it turned to vinegar. Delicious. I am getting over a cold that I got at Burning Man. Best playa gift ever. So it is soothing the throat and the lungs, I like to think, which is why I brew my own kombucha, guys. Speaking of dirty hippies, yes, I was at Burning Man, and oh boy, what a good year. Oh my God, you guys, Burning Man is like the best thing ever. Like, it was everything I thought it would be, but then not at all. And you should have I have to go. Why aren't you going to Burning Man? And that's all this vlog is going to be. It's just going to be that. No, I'm going to avoid doing that because if you have friends that went, you've been hearing that all week, and I apologize. And if you don't know what I'm talking about or don't have anybody who's gone there, you don't care. Or, worst case scenario, I might build it up to be this fictional El Dorado of an event that you feel you must go to, and then you spend all this money and energy and effort going and spending a week of having all of your expectations not met and sneezing blood. I don't want to be responsible for that, but it was good for me. It was a good year. It's my 4th year going. And for those of you, if you have no idea what it is, Burning Man is an annual event where I'd say it's a temporary community, a temporary city is built that is all about art and expression and saying yes to experiencing things. And it's a place where you can masquerade either as your one pure self or as a facet of yourself or as something else. And by the end of it, it all either burns down or gets torn down and returns back to dust. Just like life. It's good exercise, great exercise. If you're curious, I'm going to start it off with a plug of one of my favorite podcasts, the Duncan Trussell Family Hour. Fantastic comedian, amazing guests on this podcast. And his most recent episode, I pulled it up here. It's with Dr. Cole Marta, and it's a great episode. And the opening of it is his rant about Burning Man. It sounds like he went there for the first time this year, but I think he articulates in a very great way what it is a bit to experience it without going into all the dumb details, and particularly the temple. I think everything he says about that is pretty great. So I'm going to put a link in the description below to where you can find that episode if you're not already listening to that podcast. But I was hearing it, and having gone, I'm like, yeah, you got it, man. Feeling so nostalgic for it. And yeah, it's, God, yeah, it's fun. Good times. Did a lot of stuff and things. One story I will share with you because I think that it's a universal thing, and you don't have to have gone to Burning Man to understand it, I hope. So at our camp, we have this porch area. It's a big shade structure and some futons and couches facing out in the road where we just watch foot traffic and bikes go by, and we can be lazy during the day. And at night we go out wandering and having adventures. So at some time in the night, just before morning, it was dark. It'd been dark for a while. We're returning to camp. People are trickling in and sitting on the couches and sharing their stories and adventures and talking. It was a pretty quiet night, so there was nobody on the road for a while until one lone man starts walking by. And we're talking, kind of watching him, not really thinking anything of it. And then as he passes us, he lets out a long fart. A long, loud fart. Without even slowing down. He just keeps moving. It was amazing. That is the one amazing story I'm bringing back from Burning Man. It was so weird, so fun. It just sucked the air out of the room, so to speak. That's all we could talk about for a moment. It was just, I think the beauty of that moment, to me at least, it was just a reminder of oh, yeah, you just don't know what to expect. Don't expect anything because, magic happens at the drop of a fart. I don't know. That's a fun thing. It's a good reminder. I think for me, I kind of needed it at this time of the year, to just escape into the desert and remind myself about impermanence. You spend all this energy building something up and it's going to burn down anyway. So let it burn, throw more things onto that fire. And also just throwing myself out into an environment that with strangers and interacting with people and just being open to talking to strangers. That's a tough thing. Yeah, I don't know. Everybody goes for different reasons. And the lessons that you learn there too, like you can have those moments anywhere. And that's what I'm finding more and more. Like I'll be experiencing something that's really cool, magical. And I tell myself, this is a Burning Man moment. And at Burning Man, I think the only difference is it's an entire city of people who have entered with that intention. Like in real life, if a man runs out of his tent and says, come in here, I make mead, come have some mead with me. In Los Angeles, I wouldn't do that because he's in a tent and that means something totally different. But at Burning Man, I'm like, yeah, I will come and sample your mead, good sir, and look at a photo album of your girlfriend's cats. That sounds like fun. And it was fun. So, it's just kind of one of those environments where you can practice and play around. And the art is amazing too, and especially, I mean, for anybody, but for artists and creative peoples, especially, like you have to get out of your own head sometimes. You have to get out of your room. Look at this. That's me. That's me. Your environment where you're sitting, even if you're at work and you're in a cubicle or if you're in an office space where you're not allowed to put your pictures up on the wall, you over time have put your memories up on the wall and the space starts becoming a part of your own and you have ownership of it and then you get comfortable. So it's really great to uproot every now and then and go into an environment that is foreign to you. It's foreign to everybody else. Everybody's just settling in. You only have a week in this desert, in an environment that is just not conducive to human life. My throat is on the verge of dying. Oh my goodness. Coughing fit. Apologies. Resuming. Anyway, just a long rant about how, hey, like maybe it's good to step outside of your own mind into an environment that's totally unfamiliar and explore that and try something new. I don't know. It's so cliche, man. But yeah. Anyways, good times were had. I'm super inspired for next year. There's many ideas and games that I want to play. And who knows? I'm kind of tiptoeing around the idea of making not a how-to video, an advice video, or just like some tips for first-time burners if you're going to go, or if you're planning on going, maybe some things to think about, like saving now for 2018. But yeah, it was fun. Anyway, maybe, and maybe there's like other ways of practicing. What is it? Saying yes, radical participation, as they say. Do you have any methods out there or places that you go to, whether it's like going hiking or like hanging out with certain people? What do you do to unplug from your own world and throw yourself into a radically different environment and challenge yourself in that creative way? It's like a reset button, I feel. Yeah, that's what I'm going to call it. For me, it's an event that is a reset button every year where you can go there and be like, oh, that's right. All these things I think are important are not. So yeah, if you have a method or like something that helps you do that, leave a comment below. Share that. Sharing is caring. Oh my goodness. Reset button. It all doesn't matter. Like we come back and a week later I'm at my friend's house. I'm at Pete's house, dog sitting for him because he's going to the Emmys. So I'm sitting there and just like, whatever. And here everybody comes in like looking gorgeous. Like they all look gorgeous and they deserve it. Like Epic Rap Battles of History got an Emmy nomination. Didn't win, but it's just like nice validation for the crew and for the team. And so everybody shows up and there's a limo and Pete's just like, do I wear this magician's hat or not? And I'm like, wear the hat. Like, who cares? It's just very fascinating. Very fascinating. So I'll have like 3 weeks of facing the world in a very different way and then go back to my old terrible habits. But hey, it was fun. Anyway, I'm going to cut this one short because I got some footage from Burning Man that I want to cut together, and I want to figure out how to make that a video that isn't sucky. So I'm going to go, but I hope you had a wonderful couple weeks, dear Doodlebugs, and I will be bringing you these videos more frequently. Oh, and final plug. I don't want to plug it just now, but I talk more in depth with Dante about Burning Man on our new podcast that we've been setting up, Peas in a Podcast. There's a link in the description below to where you can find that. The episode is currently not up. I'm going to be editing this while uploading that. We started this podcast. We have one episode up right now, and then we both got extremely busy, him in particular, and he does the audio, so we're still balancing what our schedule is going to be like and how we can make this happen. But it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. He's got beautiful thoughts that need to get out there. And sometimes doing videos on things, it's a little much to set up, especially as a lady. Like, I want to make sure like my light and my hair is all good, and because like even if you look good in real life, trust me, the camera emphasizes the things that suck. And so like you're like, oh, I feel like it's a good hair day, and then you look at the picture and you're like, God, what the? And then everybody on the internet is like, oh yeah, I can really see these flaws. I feel like I should comment about it. So something about podcasting is just, and talking it out is really, feels a little more easy to jump into. It's just a matter of, we gotta make time for it. So it's a roundabout way of saying we started a podcast. It's kind of a soft launch thing, and then ideally we'll be doing it weekly. So you can check that out and comment on the podcasty stuff and on that social media of like what you want to hear, because that's what it's all about. Okay, I'm gonna let you go and watch Google kangaroo births. Google kangaroo birth. Go do it. Go watch that video next. Goodbye.